All right, welcome everyone. This is All-Star Lineup Baseball. I'm Craig, your host, doing your play-by-play today. I'm going to run through the 1919 World Series, starting with Game 1 today. So we got the visiting 1919 Chicago White Sox versus the home team at Redland Field here, the Cincinnati Reds. Both teams have had fantastic seasons. In reality, this was, of course, the year that gave the Chicago White Sox the nickname the Black Sox because, according to things that went on, and there's a lot of, it's up in the air, but basically there was money taken to throw the game by several players on the White Sox team. They were banned from baseball for life. And it's been the story of 8 Men Out. If you didn't see that movie, you should. These are the guys that in Field of Dreams were the players that played on the field that weren't able to play baseball anymore. Shoeless Joe Jackson among them. So there's a lot of mystique and a lot of opinions surrounding this. But the facts are that money did change hands. Some of the players did, let's say, not play their best during the series. Starting off with Eddie Cicotte, their pitcher, who, for the year had something like a 1 point, I can't remember, I can look him up real quick, but it's like a 1.89 or 1.9 ERA, was 29-7 on the year, plunked the first batter right in the middle of the back, and so that made everybody start thinking about the fact that maybe they were in the tank on this one. So, but anyway, no fix in today. We're going to play this straight up. Got everything set up and ready to go. I'm going to rearrange this a little bit there. So what we have is starting for the starting for the White Sox, leading off Shane Collins. Sorry, I need to fix something real quick. Where's that? Okay, there we go. Shane Collins in right. Followed by Eddie Collins at second base, Buck Weaver batting third and playing third, Shoeless Joe Jackson in left field, Happy Felsch in center field, Chick Gandil at first base, Swede Risberg at short, Ray Schalk, the catcher, batting eighth, Eddie Cicotte, the pitcher, in the 9-hole, and then for the home team Reds, leading off Maury Rath at second base, Jake Daubert at first, Heine Groh at third, Ed Roush in center field. I'm sorry, I've got the wrong. I got Cueto in here for some reason. I'll grab Ed Roush real quick and get him in here. Pat Duncan in left, Larry Kopp at short, Greasy Neal in right, Ivy Wingo catching, and on the mound Dutch Ruther. The Dutchman is on the mound today. So let me get Mr. Roush. I had his card. I'm not sure why I ended up putting Cueto in there. He didn't play till the second game. And I'm using the lineups the way they were for these teams, but I'm not doing an as-played matchup per se. We'll just see how the chips fall here. There's my boy Ed. Pop him in here. Ed's playing center field and batting fourth. Don't want to leave him out. Kind of important. All right, there's Ed. All right, so I got Mr. Roush in the game. Okay. For those of you that have seen the game before, you know how this all works. The cards are color-coded. For those of you that don't, yellow is an average player. So for the batters, their hitting rating's here, speed rating is behind the date here, and their fielding rating is here. All right. For pitchers, this is their pitching rating and their fielding rating. They don't have another rating for speed in here. Okay. Yellow is average. Green is above average to good, or to great, and blue is below average to bad. Okay. So as you can see up here, overall, some pretty evenly matched teams. When you look at the way they're lined out. Two great pitchers going at it here. So we've got Cicotte versus Collins to lead it off. Collins is yellow rated. Seacott's green rated, so that's a -1 for Collins. And they're both righties, so it's actually -2 for Collins. So I'm going to roll these up. I rolled a 6 for Collins and a 6 for Seacott. Sorry, I'm picking the wrong picture here. Let me do this again. Well, let me talk through this again. I'm not going to re-roll it. It's rather the Dutchman pitching to Collins, sorry. So there's no platoon disadvantage there. But he does have a -1 disadvantage, green versus yellow. Okay? So that means the dice I threw for Dutch, the 6. For the batter's a 6. You take away 1 from the batter for his disadvantage. Pitcher wins that. A 7 on the Dutchman's card here is a ground out. Okay? So that is a ground out, and it's a ground out to second base. So starting the game off with a 4-3 for the first out of the game. All right, so Collins is out. Moving on, we have 1 out in this inning. That brings up Eddie Collins. Second baseman Eddie Collins coming up to the plate. He's green rated too, but he's a lefty, so he suffers a platoon disadvantage. Lefty-lefty matchup. So Dutchman gets the advantage on this one. All right, so -1 for Collins. He rolls 5. -1 makes that a 4. The Dutchman rolls a 2, so the batter wins with a 6 on his card. A 6 on Eddie Collins' card is a single. We'll check and see where that single went. Looks like it was a single to second base, so a little infield single for him. And he is on at first. All right. That brings Weaver to the plate. Weaver played third. He's a yellow rated hitter, so he's -1 to the Dutchman, and there's no platoon disadvantage for him today. All right. So here we go. Rolls a 3, -1's a 2. That's what the Dutchman rolled, so we have a tie, folks. And you know what that means? Wild card time. Error. Runners advance 1 base. All right. Now, we'll see who the error was on in just 1 second, but we're going to advance a base. So everybody move forward. Weaver at first, Collins at second. All right. And let's see who commits the error. 11, that is left field. So it's an error in left. Results in the extra base, or the hit. Not the hit, but and that's getting on 2 men on base here. So Collins and Weaver both on. That's E7, and that was, let's go. All right. All right. 2 men on, 1 out in the inning. That brings up Shoeless Joe Jackson hitting the 4-hole, playing in left field. Green-rated hitter, but he is a lefty, so the lefty-lefty matchup gives Dutch the 1-point advantage here on Jackson. Jackson rolls a 1 and a 3 from the pitcher, so the pitcher wins easily. A 3 on Dutch's card is a ground out. All right, possible double play coming, kids. It's a ground out to the pitcher. All right, so basically, in the way you do this is the first out, since it's a ground out, the first out's a given. Okay, so based on the way this typically works out, you know, I think that, well, as far as the 2 runners that are on, Collins at second is a faster runner. Okay, so getting him at third is probably less likely. All right, getting Weaver at second is more likely. So in this case, I'm going to say Collins takes third, and we'll see. We'll say that Weaver did not make it to second base. That's your first out. Okay. Now we're going to see if the batter, it's Jackson, he's a yellow rated runner. You see right there behind his date is yellow. So for Jackson, we're going to see if he beat the throw to first. All right. So if it's a 1-6-3 we're talking about here, I take a look at the shortstop on the Cincinnati side. That's Kopf. He's blue rated. Okay, that's -1 there. But the first baseman, Daubert, is green rated. So it averages out. So basically, you have an average rated runner, average to good, and average to good rated defense. So it balances out. So 1 to 3, he's safe. 4 to 6, he's out. 1 to 3, you roll a 1, so he's safe at first. All right. Jackson at first, Collins at third. All right, and we have 2 outs in the inning, kids. All right. All right. All right, Happy Felt's coming up. 2 runners on for Happy. Let's see if he can get something going here. All right. He's yellow rated, no platoon disadvantage, so he's -1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Pitcher rolls a 7 though, which is unbeatable by the batter, so he's only rolling a D6. So Dutch wins that one, and he rolled a 20 on his card, and that's a line out. So it's a line out on the infield, a line out to the catcher, which basically translates to a caught third strike. All right. Sorry about the phone call. All right. 3 outs. All right, that's the end of that half of the inning. No runs in. A little bit of action on the base paths, but it doesn't get Chicago anywhere. And so the home team is up to bat in the bottom of the second, or the bottom of the first, sorry. Thought I was going to say first, but I said second. All right, Warrior Wrath coming up, facing Eddie Cicotte. In the original game, this is where Eddie plunked him in the back, but we're not going to have that happen today. So Wrath steps in, the second baseman, and Cicotte delivers. Wrath rolls a 3, but Cicotte punches his ticket with a 7. And that's an 18 on Cicotte's D20, and on his card, that's a line out. All right, so we got a line out to the shortstop to start the game off. So Wrath goes down swinging with a sharp liner right into the glove of the shortstop. All right, so we're down 1 out, and Jake Daubert coming up. Jake playing first base for the Reds. All right, and Cicotte delivers. Daubert with a 4, -1 because he's yellow rated. It doesn't matter though because Cicotte rolled a 1, so Daubert wins that one. And he rolled a 5 on his card. A 5 is a single. So Daubert is on at first. Let's see where he hit it to. That's a single to left field. All right. That's a single to left. All right, let's get him on first base and move on to Heine Groh coming up. Heine's green rated, but he's a righty. So he has a platoon disadvantage. It's a righty-righty matchup. All right, so Heine is rolling at -1 here. All right, rolls a 5, -1's a 4. Cicotte rolls a 2, so Groh wins that one with a single. Okay, so straight up, he's on first, Daubert's on second. Well, let's see where our single was to see if we got possible extra base situation. Single is to right field. All right. Now our right fielder is Collins. Okay, and Chano Collins is a green rated fielder. Okay, got a good arm out in the right field. All right. Now here at second base, Daubert's a yellow rated runner. Okay, he's average. Now Groh is a fast runner. Okay, if it was switched around, you probably would see Groh go for it. But in this case, I'm going to say that Daubert holds up here because he's at a disadvantage if he tries to go for it. Because you got a +1 fielder out here, and at third base for Cincinnati, we got an average, or we got a, you got a +1 fielder in the outfield, and then at third base, you've got, is it Weaver? Yeah, I think Weaver's at third. Sorry. Yeah, Weaver's at third. He's average. So he's at a disadvantage there to try to go. All right, so he's going to hold up there. All right, men at first and second, 1 out. or no, there we go. Got to catch up with myself there, my scorebook. All right. Now we got Ed Roush coming up. Roush is green rated and a lefty, so no platoon disadvantage for him, so he's rolling straight up against Seacott here. He rolls a 1. Seacott wins that battle. 12 on Seacott's card. A 12 on his card is a ground out. This could be trouble, folks. A ground out to the shortstop. All right. So, let's see. That's Roush. All right. It's a ground out to the shortstop. Okay. So we're going to go for the 6-4-3, which means for now, Daubert rolls on the third. We're going to see if Groh makes it to second. Now, Groh is going to be the out here at second. Okay. So that part of the first out, because we have a ground out, happens. So 6-4, and Groh is out at first. Okay. 2 outs. Now we're going to see if Roush, who's a fast runner, made it to first base. All right. So the shortstop, in this case, is Risberg, I believe. We'll check it. I just want to make sure I picked the right guy here. Yeah, it's Risberg. All right. Risberg is a blue-rated shortstop, so he's below average. Okay. At first base, Gandil is green-rated, so that makes it average. Roush is +1 here because he's a green-rated runner. Okay. So in this case, the question is not, we've got 1 out there already. The question is whether or not Roush makes it to first, okay? So normally 1-3, he's safe, 4-6, he's out, but Roush has an advantage, so 1-4. So anything but a 5 or 6, and he's safe. He rolls a 1, so he made it to first, all right? So Roush on at first, and just 1 out on that. They did not turn the double play, okay? All right, Pat Duncan coming up. Okay, Duncan playing left field today. Runners on the corner with 2 outs. Duncan is -1 because he's yellow rated to Seacott's green. He's also a righty, so he's another -1, so he's -2. He rolls a 6, that's the best he can roll. That downgrades that to a 4, and Seacott rolls a 3. So a 6 and a 3 on his D20. So 3 on Duncan's card is a single. So another single. So Daubert scores from third. Roush is right now at second. Duncan's at first. We're going to see if Roush rounds second and takes third here. Let's see where the single is to. Single to right field. All right. Now we said already we got a green rated right fielder out there. Roush is green rated as far as speed goes. Okay, so they're even up on that. And our third baseman is Weaver. And Weaver's yellow rated. Okay, so there's no difference there. So it's straight up on whether or not he takes the extra base or gets thrown out. We've already got 1 run in there. I think in this case, Roush is going to hold up because he's got a good arm right fielder out in the right field. Doesn't want to take a chance. He'll stay there. All right. So Roush is holding up. So we dunk it on at first. Roush at second. We got 2 outs in the inning and 1 run in, kids. So Jake Daubert is the first run of the game. All right. Oops. Groh was our second out. Sorry about that. All right. Sorry, I'm keep my scorebook here. Keep myself honest here. All right. Here we go. That brings up Larry Kopp, the shortstop. Not the best fielding shortstop, but a decent hitter, and he's got some good speed. So Kopp is one of these guys. He's going to roll at a -2 to Seacott because he's yellow rated, and he's a righty. So here we go. He rolls at 2. That becomes a 0. Seacott wins with a 7. Okay, and a 16 on his D20, which is a fly out. All right. So the third out of the inning is a fly out to shortstop. All right. So there's the end of our inning. But the Reds have managed to bring in a run, and they lead it 1-0. Okay. Going to top of the second. Clear the bases and get ready to roll. Neil will be up next for them. All right. Okay, Dutch Ruther takes the mound again. Coming up against Chick Gandil, the first baseman. Chick's a yellow-rated hitter, and he's a righty, so he rolls at a -1. Get this situated here. He rolls at a -1 to the Dutchman. Oh, I guess nobody on base. Better clear that up. Confused myself there. All right, here we go. That's a 2 from the pitcher. You can see this yet. On a 4 from the batter. -1 is a 3. So the batter wins the matchup with a 15 on his D20, and a 15 is a triple. So Gandil slaps a triple right down the right field line. All right. So Gandil will be on at third. He's a yellow-rated runner, so he wouldn't necessarily make it all the way home on his triple, but he leads off with a bang and gets things going here for Chicago in the top of the second. All right. So Gandil on at third. And we have Swede Risberg coming up. Shortstop. And he's got good speed, decent hitter. He's yellow rated, no platoon disadvantage, or no, actually, yeah, no platoon disadvantage. So he's at -1 to the Dutchman. Here we go. He rolls a 6, -1's a 5. Pitcher rolls a 4, so he wins it with a single. So an RBI single for Swede Risberg. He is on base at first, and Gandil scores. All right. So there we go. Gandil is the first run for Chicago. And just like that, they answer what Cincinnati did in the bottom of the first. All right. So we have a single single just over the shortstop. So an infield single. One base on that. All right. So we got nobody out. One runner on at first base. And Ray Schalk, the catcher, coming up. Ray's a great fielding catcher. He's average in speed, average in hitting ability. So he's -1 to the Dutchman. As a right-handed batter, he doesn't suffer any platoon penalty. So he's -1. So here we go. By the way, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. Didn't say that up front. 2 -1's a 1. The Dutchman rolls a 3, so he wins with a 6 on his card. A 6 on his card is a ground out. So possible double play coming up, folks. The ground out to the second baseman. So the first out is going to be Risberg. He's out on that end of it. Now we'll see if Schalk, who's yellow rated, can make it to first. All right. So ground ball was to second, so it'll be a 4-6-3. Our shortstop is Weaver. He's yellow rated. All right. Gandil is green rated, so they're +1 on defense. All right. And Schalk happens to be a fast catcher, or no, an average catcher. So he's at a disadvantage. The defense has a +1 on him. So normally 1 to 3 he's safe, 4 to 6 out. In this case, 1 to 2 he's safe. So anything but a 1 or 2, and Schalk will be out. He rolls a 5. Schalk is out. So the double play was turned. There's 2 outs in the inning, and nobody on base. All right. So Risberg is eliminated, and Schalk is put out at first on the double play. All right. All right. Now the pitcher. Eddie Seacott coming to the plate. And he is at a -2 disadvantage to the Dutchman. All right. He rolls a 5. That's downgraded to a 3. Dutchman rolls a 6. Pitcher wins. With a 12 on his card, that is a ground out. To the catcher, a little nubber to the catcher. Now, if he was a fast runner, we'd give him a shot to see if he can beat it out. But Seacott is a blue-rated runner, so we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to say he's out on that one. All right, so third out of the inning, Seacott goes down, and we go to the bottom of the second. But the score, folks, is 1-1. So we're knotting up again. A new ball game going into the bottom of the second. All right. Got all my stuff off of here, and let's see. Typically, I'm keeping a scorebook, and what I'm doing out here, typically I'll leave something and forget to pick it up. So, you know, you guys will probably catch that as I go through here. All right, Greasy Neal coming to the plate. Neal is playing right field today. He is at a -1 disadvantage to Seacott. Rolls a 4, -1 makes that a 3. Seacott rolls a 5 and a 2 on his card. That is a strikeout. And in this case, 1 to 3 is swinging, 4 to 6 is looking. 4 to 6 struck him out looking. Locked him up with, I'm sure, a knuckleball. Seacott is kind of the father of the knuckleball for baseball. He was the first one to really use it excessively. 70-80% of the time, he was throwing a knuckleball. He also had an emery ball. He had all kinds of junk. He had what he called a shine ball. He'd load his right pocket up with talcum powder and rub one side of the ball against it during the game, so you get that powder on there. And that was his shine ball, which was made illegal, I think, in 1920, something like that. But after this series, basically. But it was illegal going forward. His emery ball lasted a couple more years than that. So, but he definitely was known for throwing anything and everything he possibly could. All right. So we got one out, and Ivy Wingo, the catcher, coming up. Wingo is yellow rated, so he's -1. No platoon disadvantage there. Let's see what he can do. He rolls a 1, so downgrade that. Pitcher rolled a 7, so it wouldn't have mattered. A 19 on the pitcher's D20. I don't know if you can see these D20s very well, but that is a line out on Seacott's card. And it's a line out to second base. Okay. So 2 up, 2 down. That brings up the pitcher. That brings the Dutchman up to the plate to see if he can help his team out on the offensive side of the ball. At the plate. All right, he's yellow rated, so he is -1. He's a lefty, so no platoon disadvantage. So here we go, -1. 3 -1's a 2. Pitcher rolled a 6, so the pitcher wins. A 7 on Eddie's card is a ground out. So not much happening in that inning. It's a ground out to third base. So a 5-3 for the last out of the inning. All right. And the Reds will go to the top of the order next time. And we go to the top of the third. Still tied at 1-1. 1919 Chicago White Sox and the 1919 Cincinnati Reds. Going to play the whole series out. It's a best of 9 series. So first team to 5 games wins it. Originally, Chicago lost 5-3. So we'll see as we go along what happens. All right, top of the order. Collins is up. Collins is -2 to Seacott because he's a righty as well as a yellow-rated hitter. Okay? Yellow-rated versus Seacott's green. All right, -2. Rolls a 3, -2 is a 1. Seacott rolls a 4, so the pitcher wins. And rolls a 16 on his D20. A 16 on Seacott's card is a flyout. All right. It's going to be a fly out to the third baseman. All right, so F5 to leave things off. And Eddie Collins is coming up, the second baseman, as I wreck the board on this side over here. That's mild. Usually I end up like everything is up everywhere at some point. Okay, Eddie Collins coming up. He's green rated, but he's a lefty, which means against Reuter he suffers a -1 disadvantage. Okay, so here we go. Eddie versus Eddie. Okay, rolls a 5, -1's a 4. Pitcher rolls a 1, so it doesn't matter. On the 17, for the D20 is a 17 for the batter. That's a walk. So base on balls for Eddie Collins. And he is on at first base runner of the inning. All right. Weaver coming to the plate. As I said, Collins at first. Weaver rolls at a -2 disadvantage, or not, -1 disadvantage. All right. No, I'm sorry, he doesn't because he's a switch hitter. The star here means he's a switch hitter, so he's not at a disadvantage. So he rolled a 6, but the pitcher rolls an 8, which is unbeatable by the batter, and an 8 on the pitcher card for the Dutchman is a ground out. So we could have a double play situation, folks. It's a ground out to the pitcher. All right. So since we have a ground out situation, the first out's always, the lead out. We're going to see if Weaver can make it. Weaver's green rated, so 1-6-3. So our shortstop is Risberg, who's blue rated, but our first baseman is Gandil, which is green rated, so they balance out to average. That means Weaver has a +1 advantage. So 1-2, he's safe. Anything else, he's out. And I rolled a 1. Weaver did not make it, and there's 2 outs in the inning. A double play occurs, wipes the bases clean, and Shoeless Joe Jackson is coming to the plate. So on the 1-6-3, 2 outs made. All right, Jackson comes up. Nobody on base. He's green rated, but he is a lefty, so he suffers a penalty against Dutch over here, who's also a lefty. All right, so he's rolling at a -1. 4 -1's a 3, but the pitcher rolls an 8, and then an 8 on his D20, which is a ground out. Ground out to the first baseman. All right, so that ends the inning. A little excitement, but no runs scored there. And we go to the bottom of the third. All right. And of course we have the top lineup coming up for Cincinnati. Hope you guys are enjoying the game. Again, the game is All-Star Lineup Baseball. You can go to barstoolgames.net for more detail on the game. But it's basically set up just as you see it here. No additional charts to look up. Everything is on the player cards that you need. As you can see as I play through here, it makes it to where it plays quickly and very intuitively. So, all right, Rath coming up versus Seacott. He's -1 because he's yellow rated, but he's a lefty, so it's only a -1 penalty for him. 5 -1 is 4. Pitcher rolls a 6 though, so the pitcher wins, and a 16 on the pitcher's D20 is a fly out. All right, so Seacott gets the ball in the air, and it's caught by the second baseman. So a little pop up on the infield for the first out of the inning. Rath goes down. All right. All right. Jake Daubert coming up, first baseman. He's yellow rated, but he is a lefty, so there's no platoon disadvantage for Seacott. So it's -1. Rolls a 1. That's a 0 adjusted downwards. A 2 from the pitcher, but the pitcher still wins it with a 9 on his D20. A 9 is a ground out. So he grounds out to the second baseman. So 4-3 on that. If you're scoring at home. You know, and the way this is set up too, I've got this scoreboard right here in the middle. When I ship the game, I ship it with a piece of clear, it's transparent dry erase material. So you can put that on there and keep score on here with a dry erase marker if you want to. I typically keep a scoreboard just to keep myself, safe over here. Make sure I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing. All right, Grow coming up. He is green rated and a righty. Seacott is a righty, so there's a disadvantage for Grow of -1. -1 to 0. So Seacott's dominated in this inning with a 7 and a 9 on his card, and 9 is a ground out. All right, so use the brown infield die to ground out to short. So 6-3 to end the inning. And we roll on to the top of the fourth, still tied 1-1. And need some music. All right, it'll be Roush coming up next. All right, Happy Felsch coming up. Playing center field today. He is -1 to Rather, and he has no platoon disadvantage. So rolls a 6, -1's a 5. Pitcher rolls a 4, so the batter wins with a 7 on his card. A 7 on Happy's card is a single. All right, so he is on at first base. It was a single to right field. So he drills one down the line at right, and that brings up Chick Gandil, the first baseman. Gandil is also rolling at a -1 disadvantage. He rolls a 5, -1's a 4, but the Dutchman rolls a 7 and wins that one. It's a 16 on his card. It's a fly out. All right, we're going to see where the fly out is too. Fly out to third base. So Felsch is going to stay put over there first. That is 1 out. Sorry, I didn't move this last time. 1 out in the inning. Okay. Swede Risberg coming to the plate. He is yellow rated and he's a righty, so he only suffers a -1 disadvantage to the lefty Dutchman. 4 -1 is 3. Pitcher rolled a 3. They tied, so we pull a wild card. Balk. Runners advance 1 base. All right then. Risberg's still up to the plate, but Felsch is now at second base. All right, so he was in the scoring position, and Risberg rolls again, still at a -1 disadvantage. Ooh, he rolls a 6. -1's a 5, but it doesn't matter because the Dutchman rolls a 6, and an 8 on his card is a ground out. So he gets him to ground out. That's a ground out to first base. All right. And in any ballpark I've been in, that's going to move our runner to third. Felsch is a green rated runner, so he definitely would make it to third. There's 2 outs in the game, and Ray Schock, the catcher, is coming up. All right. 2. All right, so we got a runner at third for Schock, who is a yellow rated hitter. He is also a righty, so he only suffers that disadvantage. He didn't have a platoon disadvantage to worry about. All right. Rolls a 1, -1's a 0. Pitcher rolls a 7, so the pitcher wins with a 6 on his D20, and a 6 for Rather is a ground out. So the third out of the inning is a ground out to third base. So did not score the run. And Seacott will lead off the inning next time. All right. Nobody on base. Nobody out. And here comes Ed Roush to the plate in the bottom of the fourth. A little refreshment there. All right. Roush is green rated, so no disadvantage there. He's also a lefty. You can tell by this image on here. The batter is a lefty. The difference to the righty here, Roush is a lefty. No disadvantage, so he's rolling straight up. against Mr. Seacott. Rolls a 6, and so does the pitcher. So we're going to pull a wild card, kids. That's a ground rule double. And it's a ground rule double to left field. All right. So Roush will be on second base. To start the inning, leads off with a double. Looks promising here for Cincinnati. All right. All right. Pat Duncan coming up. Make sure I'm not covering up my board over here with my dice tray. Normally, I keep track of the innings over here. But since I want you to see my rolls, I went ahead and just plunk the dice tray down there. All right. Duncan's a righty, and he's already -1 for his hitting rating. That makes him -2 against Seacott. Rolls a 6. That's downgraded to a 4. Seacott rolls a 4. So we're going to pull another wild card. High pitch count. Pitcher's max innings equals 4. All right. So after this inning, Dutch has got to come out of the game. Okay. That's a little bit of a blow for them. I'm going to leave this right here so I don't forget it. And we'll pull him out after this inning. All right. All right, we're going to go again. Duncan again rolling at -2. Rolls a 6, -2 is a 4, but the pitcher wins it with a 5. So Seacott takes him down. Say Dutch. Seacott takes him down. Seacott's someone who's going to be limited to 4 innings. Sorry, guys. All right, pitcher wins that matchup with a 14 on his D20. That's a fly out. All right. So that is going to be a fly out to the pitcher. So a little infield pop-up for the first out of the inning. All right, Roush stays put at second, obviously. All right, Larry Kopp coming up. Playing shortstop for us today. Kopp is a switch hitter, so there'll be no platoon disadvantage on him. See the star by his name. He's a switch hitter. He does suffer a -1 disadvantage, though, because of his hitting rating versus Seacott's pitching rating. So here we go. He rolls a 3, -1's a 2. Seacott rolled an 8, so it doesn't really matter much. And a 6 on his D20. A 6 for Seacott is a ground out. All right. That's a ground out to the pitcher. Pitcher's going to get the out at first base. That means Roush goes to third. All right. So Kopp is out. Greasy Neal coming up. All right. Third. Let's see if Neal can get this run in from third. All right. 2 down. Here we go. Bottom of the 4th. Neal rolls a 3. Pitcher rolls an 8 and a 15 on the pitcher's D20. That's a fly out. So Seacott gets the ball in the air for the final out of the inning. And that's a pop up to left field. Can of corn out there and left for Jackson. I should have known. Not Jackson. Yeah, Jackson. I should have known that. All right, so F7, 3 down in the inning. And we roll on to the top of the 5th. All right, and Eddie Seacott is coming up for the visiting White Sox. Again, this game was played in Redmond Field. The first 2 in the series were. Originally, the Reds won the first 2 games of the series. But right now, we are tied up 1-0. All right. All right. Here we go. We got the Dutchman pitching to Eddie Seacott. Eddie's at a -2 disadvantage. 2 -2 is a 0. Dutchman rolls a 6. Pitcher wins with a 1 on his card. That's a strikeout. We'll see if... Yep, it was. Struck out swinging, did Eddie. So down he goes. There's one out in the inning. All right. Top of the order now for Chicago, Shane Collins. And he is rolling at a -1 disadvantage. 3 -1's a 2. Pitcher wins it with a 3 and an 8 on his card. An 8 is a ground out. An 8's a ground out to the catcher, a little number to the catcher. And because he's blue rated, he doesn't have a chance to beat that out. Okay? If he was green rated, we'd let him do a speed check and see if he could beat that out. So now we have 2 outs in the inning. Eddie Collins coming up, our second baseman. Eddie's got the speed. He could beat that out. But Shane was not a fast runner. All right. All right, Collins coming up here in the top of the 5th. 2 outs in the inning. He is rolling straight up. No, I'm sorry. He's rolling at a -1 platoon disadvantage. Lefty-lefty matchup. So the Dutchman gets the advantage here. So -1. 5 -1 is a 4. Pitcher rolled a 7. So the pitcher wins that one. And on his D20, a 19, which is a line out. So the 3rd out of the inning is a line out to shortstop. So that'll end the inning in a hurry. And we move on to the bottom of the 5th. Still tied 1-1. All right. Nobody out, nobody on. Here we go. All right. For the Reds, leading off the inning is Greasy Neal. He is yellow rated, and he's a lefty. So he's only at a -1 disadvantage to Seacott, who's green rated, but he's a righty. 4 -1's a 3. Seacott hits a 4 and a 19 on his D20, so he wins this one. That's a line out. So the first out is a line out to the catcher. That is basically a caught third strike for the first out. All right. So we have 1 out. Ivy Wingo, the catcher, coming up. He's yellow rated and a lefty, so he suffers a -1 disadvantage to Seacott. Here we go. Rolls a 1. -1's a 0, so Seacott's going to win this one with a 5 and a 15 on Seacott's card, which is a fly out. That is a fly out to right field. So a little F9 can of corn out there in right field. And hang on one second here. Put these in the wrong book, or the wrong side. So drop third, let's drop 1 and an F9. 2. Yeah, I'm sorry, and it should have been Wingo and Dutch, but it doesn't change anything. They're all lefties. So I had that wrong. So we're back at the top of the order. We got 2 outs. Sorry about that. Yeah, it was Wingo who led off, then the pitcher. So we are back here. No harm, no foul. I just have to fix it on my scorebook here. Sorry about that, guys. All right, 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. I got to remember that I have to pull Seacott next inning because of this. Call it what you want. Say it's an injury. Say it's, whatever. But he's going to be out of there. All right. Let's see. Wrath is a lefty, but he's yellow rated, so he's a -1 disadvantage. So that 6 becomes a 5, which beats the 2 the pitcher rolled. It's a 7 on his D20. That is a single for him. All right. So Wrath is on at first base. Daubert coming up. Let's see where our single is to. Just single 2 right over, or infield single to second base. So either Collins bobbled it or it just got past him. Sorry for the yawning, guys. Wrath is on with a single. All right. All right. Rolling on through it. Daubert coming up. Daubert last time hit into a little ground out. He was the first run that scored of the game, though, so he's one of the runs that scored so far. He's at a -1 disadvantage to Secant. 1 minus 1 is 0. So pitcher rolled a 7. A 13 on his card is a fly out. And it was a fly out to, I'll tell you, fly out to the pitcher, so a little pop up. And that's the third out of the inning. So Cincinnati goes down with a whimper in this inning. All right, nobody out, nobody on base. Moving on. Rolling back to Weaver. All right, and I've got to take Secant. I'll do that. Well, I'll just remember to do it next time. All right. So the Dutchman throwing to Weaver. Weaver's at a -1 disadvantage to him. Lefty throwing to the righty. Rolls a 5, -1's a 4. The 6 on the pitcher's D8. Trust me, it was a 6. So the pitcher wins that with an 18 on his D20. An 18 on Dutch's card is a line out. All right, that's a line out to shortstop. So, 6. All right. Shoeless Joe Jackson coming to the plate, left fielder. Pretty good pop in his bat relative to everyone else. This is the dead ball era, so a guy with 7 homers is going to lead the league, basically. And I think Jackson did that this year, like 7 homers. All right, so he's even up, but he's a lefty, so he's at a -1 disadvantage. Rolls a 4, -1 makes that a 3. The Dutchman wins this one with a 3 on his card, which is a ground out. So, it's already 1 out. This is a ground out to the shortstop. So, 6-3 on the out. And there are 2 away. All right. And Happy Felch coming to the plate. All right. Happy's got 1 hit. Well, now he's got a single, a single to right last time up. We'll see if he can get that going again. He is rolling at a -1 from his hitting ability. He's a righty, so doesn't suffer that disadvantage as well. Here we go. 2 -1's a 1. Pitcher rolls a 5. Pitcher wins that one with a 2 on his card and a 2 on the Dutchman's card. It's a strikeout. And it was a strikeout swinging. So 1, 2, 3. The White Sox go down. Still knotted 1-1 here, kids. Sorry, that was the top of the 6. Head for the bottom of the 6. I'm losing my mind over here, everybody. Keep myself honest. All right. Okay, Secant's got to come out. So let me get another pitcher for Chicago in here. And I think we're going to go with John Sullivan is going to come in to relieve him. Sullivan's average innings per outing are 3.8, so that should do it. Assuming we need to bring in somebody else to close it out or anything. All right. So Sullivan warms up for the Reds. It'll be Heine Groh coming to the plate. Okay. He's green rated, so is Sullivan. And he is a righty, so there's no platoon disadvantage for him there. All right. A lefty-righty matchup. Here we go. Sullivan deals. He wins the battle 6-1, -1 for Heine. 15 on his D20. That's a fly out for Sullivan. Fly out to center field. Fly out to center field. Let me see. Let me check to see if I need to do anything with this. Hang on. All right. Ed Roush coming up. 1 out in the inning. Sorry, I didn't move that over before. Told you I'd leave stuff out there. All right. Here's Roush. He's green rated. He's a lefty, so he's got a -1 disadvantage to Sullivan. Sullivan deals. 3 minus 1 is a 2. Sullivan had a 5 and a 12 on his card. That's a ground out. Got the ball, got him to hit into a 2-3. But in this case, Roush is green rated. All right. So we're going to see if he can make it to first or not. All right. Catcher in this case is Schalk. He's green rated. That's +1. Okay. The first baseman is Gandil. He's green rated. That's +2. So it's +1 versus +2 here. So Roush is at a -1 disadvantage. So 1 to 2, he's safe. Anything else, he's out. Roll to 3, and he is out at first. So he did not beat it out on the little number to the catcher. So there are now 2 outs in the inning. And we move on to Pat Duncan coming to the plate. Now, I do the opposite when there's a slow runner on a hit. If it's a hit to the catcher or the pitcher, I do the opposite. You know, a slow runner's at a -1 disadvantage to make it to first. That way you end up with fewer infield hits that, to me, you know, to my taste, it didn't feel quite right without doing the adjustment on it. So, all right, Pat Duncan coming up. He's yellow rated. He's a righty, so only he's -1. Rolls a 6, -1 to 5, 2 from the pitcher, and a 19 on Duncan's card is a bunt. He lays down a bunt, fielded by the third baseman. Duncan's blue rated, so I'm going to say he just makes it to first on that one because he's safe. Obviously, it was a bunt. Now, it was sack bunt here is what's on the card, but if you don't have anybody on base, it's just a bunt. Okay? So, he is on at first. 2 outs in the inning. Kopp coming up. All right. Larry Kopp is a switch hitter, so no platoon disadvantage for him, but a -1 because he's yellow versus Sullivan's green rating. All right. So he rolls a 2, -1 is a 1. Sullivan rolls a 6. Pitcher wins with a 5 on his card. A 5 is a ground out. All right. So last out of the inning, grounds out to the first baseman. So first base. Gandil steps on the bag, and the Reds go down again in order. Still tied 1-1. Going to the top of the 7th, kids. All right, Happy Felsch coming up. Happy has not been so happy so far. Of course, nobody has really. We got some good pitching going on here. Oh, sorry, not Felsch. Gamble's up. My bad. All right, Gamble's up. He is yellow rated versus Dutch, but he's a righty, so no platoon disadvantage. 5 -1 is a 4 for him, a 2 for the pitcher. So the batter wins with a 16 on his card. For Gandil, that's a base on balls. So I'll leave that runner there that I left out there, except I'll make it Gandil. All right, so 1 minute on for Swede Risberg coming up. See if Risberg can bring him around. All right. Oh. Now, if I want to put a hit and run on here, what I would do is you still have to use the runner's speed. So that would be Gandil's speed. He's average. All right. I would say I'm going to put a hit and run on. I would roll. If I succeed, the batter gets a hit. then the runner's going to get the extra base. Okay. If he doesn't, then he's got to do a save to see if he was put out, caught stealing, basically. I'll show you that at some point. I'm sure it'll come up. All right, Risberg is up to bat. He is yellow rated and a righty, so he's at a -1 disadvantage. Risberg rolls a 3, -1 is a 2. Pitcher rolls a 6, so the pitcher wins. It's a 5 on Dutchman's card. A 5 on his card is a ground out. We could have a double play here, kids. That is to the catcher. All right. Ugh. Ugh. So the first out is going to be Gandil at second. We're going to go for that one first. All right, so the first out's Gandil at second. The question is whether Risberg made it to first. He's green rated, okay? Our catcher is yellow rated. First baseman is green rated, so they're +1, okay? Risberg's a green rated runner, though, so they're even up. So 1 to 3, he's safe. 4 to 6, he's out. 4 to 6, they got him. The double play is turned. All right. And so Risberg is out on the back end of a 2-6-3 double play. All right. All right. Ray Shaw coming up. 2 outs in the inning. Got that done already. Shock is at a -1 disadvantage to Ryder. Rolls a 4, -1 is a 3. Doesn't matter. Our pitcher rolled an 8, and a 4 on his card is a ground out. So the last out of the inning, the ground out to third. All right. So there goes the top of the 7th. Bottom of the 7th coming up. Larry Kopf coming up for the Reds. And as far as the pitchers go, Dutchman's 7.3 innings on average per start. So starting the 8th inning, I'll do a check to see if we need to downgrade him, and then I can decide whether I'm going to replace him or not. Okay, that way I use that because that way the pitcher's doing well, you can keep him in the game. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, no way out. Kopf coming up. Kopf is -1, but he's a righty, so has no platoon disadvantage, so he's just -1. 4 -1 is a 3, but he rolls a 7 on the mound. Pitcher wins with a 9 on his D20. A 9 is a ground out. Okay? We're going to send it to ground out to the pitcher. What's our speed there? Kopf's got green speed. Okay? So we're going to see if he makes it to first. Okay? Our pitcher's yellow rated. First baseman for the Reds is green rated, so +1. So we're rolling even up. 1 to 3, he's safe. 4 to 6, he's out. He's out. They got him at first. So he did not beat it out. So it is a 1-3 for the first out. All right. Rolling, rolling, rolling. All right, Greasy Neal coming up to the plate. Now versus Sullivan. Sorry, it was. I keep going back on pitchers. It was Sullivan who threw it out. Didn't matter. They're both yellow rated. Pitchers, I pretty much assumed are yellow rated unless their ratings show me otherwise. Because most of them are. All right. Neal is -1 because of his ability, but he's also another -1 because he's a lefty. Lefty-lefty matchup, so -2 here. Yeah, he rolls a 1. That's not going to cut it. Pitcher rolls a 3 and a 12. 12 is a ground out. And it was a ground out to the pitcher. Again, 2 comebackers to the pitcher. Now, Neal is green rated. We'll do the same thing that we just did to see if he is actually out. So, pitcher is yellow rated. First baseman is green rated. It's even up, basically. So 1 to 3, he's safe. And he is safe. All right. So that's a little infield single there for Neal. And he is on at first base. All right. Now, that's shit. You don't have to do this. You can play this any way you want. If you don't like that little check I'm doing there, you can do that. You can do something else. But the key is all the information you need relating to the runner's speed, to the pitcher's, to the defense's ability, is all here on the tabletop. You don't have to look it up. It just pops out for you. So, all right, Neil is on at first. 1 out in the inning. Ivy Wingo, the catcher, coming up. Okay. Wingo rolls a 6. Pitcher rolls a 5. Wingo is rolling at a -1 disadvantage to Sullivan, and he's -1 because he's got a platoon disadvantage. So the pitcher wins that duel 5-4. 13 on the pitcher's D20. That is a fly out. So we're going to say that is a fly out to fly out to the pitcher. Everything happening around the mound today in this inning. It's crazy. Neil stays put, and there are 2 outs. That's pretty rare. You don't see that happen a whole lot. All right. Our pitcher, the Dutchman, coming up. He's -1. He's also a lefty, so he's -2. There we go. 5 minus 2 is a 3, and the pitcher rolled a 3. So you know what that means, kids. We pull a wild card. Pitcher injured, sub-reliever from the bullpen. Man, Chicago is snake bit on pitching today. We're going to bring in, hang on, we're going to bring in Rube Bressler into the game. No, I'm sorry, that's Cincinnati. Lose my mind. How about if I get one from the same team? That'd be good, Craig. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that, shall we? How about Danforth? We'll throw a little Dave Danforth in the mix for Chicago. Wow, another injury to Chicago pitching. Crazy. All right, so we're going to roll again for the Dutchman at the plate. He's -2. He survives so far. Now Danforth's a green rated, and he's a lefty. So the same thing with Dutch on this one. 5 minus 2 is a 3, but Danforth rolls a 5 and wins it. An 11 on his card is a ground out. So nothing doing there. That's a ground out too. Second, and he's blue rated, so there's no way. Or we're going to have the catcher, so there's no way. So 2 to 3, 3 outs. And still tied 1-1. Top of the 8th, kids. I hope you guys can see all this all right. Lighting in here was a little bit tough this morning. Okay. Seacott coming to the plate. Eddie is -1 already. Oh, we're going to check on Dutch. Let's check Dutch. We're going to check and see if we need to downgrade him to a D6. 1 to 3, I'll downgrade him. 4 to 6, I won't. 4 to 6, we're leading him in the game. He's good to go. All right, so Eddie's -2 to the Dutchman. 4 minus 2 is a 2. Pitcher rolled a 7, and a 16 on his D20. That's a fly out. All right, we're going to say that's a fly out to left field. That is an F7. All right. All right, here we go. Top of the order. 1 out. I lost a base runner somewhere. Oh, here he is. Trying to hide under my card over there. All right. Okay, 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 8th. Here we go. All right. Shane O'Collins is up. He is still rolling at -1 to Dutch. Rolls a 2, -1's a 1. Dutch rolls a 5. He wins it with a 3 on his card, which is a ground out. So the second out of the inning is a ground out to the shortstop. So shortstop, quick throw to first, and Gandil squeezes it for the out. No, not Gandil. Daubert. for Cincinnati. All right, Eddie Collins coming up, 2 outs in the inning. Eddie's green rated, but he's a lefty, so he suffers a -1 disadvantage. 5 -1 is a 4, doesn't matter. Pitcher threw an 8. That's an 8 on the pitcher's card. Pitcher's D20, that's another ground out. Ground out to third base. So 5, 3 for out number 3 in the 8th. And the White Sox go down with a whimper. All right, bottom of the 8th. Getting down to it. All right, top of the order though. Maury Rath coming up to the plate. Sorry, I left him on base there. You're probably looking at the whole time going, hey, get rid of that. We got it. We're all good. Okay? All right. Rath coming to the plate. He's been on. He's lined out and flied out. So we'll see if he can get something going here. He is -1 to Danforth. He's a lefty, so he's -2 to Danforth. Rolls a 3, -1, -2 is a 1. Pitcher rolls a 7 on his D20, and an 11. A 7 on his D8, and an 11 on his D20, and so that is a ground out for Danforth. Ground out to first baseman, so a little G3. Out number 1. Daubert coming up. Need to see if we can get something going here. All right. All right, here we go. Daubert's had a -1, -2 disadvantage as well. 4 -2 is a 2. Pitcher rolled an 8, so the pitcher wins with a 5 on his card. That's a ground out. So, 2 outs. And it is a ground out to the first baseman again. So the first 2 outs, ground out to first. All right, Groh coming to the plate. Heine Groh, the third baseman coming up. All right, he is rolling at no disadvantage at all, straight up. He rolls a 4, pitcher rolls a 1, so the batter wins with an 8 on his card. So he singles. Now Groh's got good speed, so let's check him. He singles to, it's infield single to second base. So a little bobble there. Throw wasn't in time, so he made it to first base. No extra bases for him that time. All right, Roush coming to the plate. Let's see what Roush can do. Groh has a single. Okay, here we go. Oh, and I'm sorry. I better keep track of my 2 outs. Where's my other? Aha! See, I keep hiding those things. 2 outs there. All right, Roush is coming up. He's a lefty too, so he is at a -1 disadvantage because he's green. So if he rolls a 5, that becomes a 4. Pitcher, Dutchman still dealing. Rolls a 5 and a 13, or not Dutchman, Danforth. 13 on his card, which is a ground out again for the 3rd out. And it's a little ground out to second base. So quick flip to second for the out. 3rd out of the inning. Let's see. All right. That'll leave Duncan coming up at the bottom of the 9th. Go to the top of the 9th. Still tied 1-1. Let's see if we can get some runs here in the 9th. All right, Weaver coming up here in the top of the 9th. And I need to check Dutch again to see if we need to downgrade him. So 1 to 3, we keep him. 4 to 6, we downgrade him. 1 to 3, keep him in. Still solid with a D8. All right, he's at a -1 disadvantage. Weaver is switch hitter, so he wouldn't suffer a platoon advantage anyway. Disadvantage anyway. He just switched sides of the plate. 5 -1's a 4. Pitcher rolls a 6, so the pitcher wins with a 12 on his card. A 12 on Dutch's card is a ground out. Lots of ground balls today. Okay? Ground out. 5, 3, 1 out. So far, so good for Cincinnati. Let's see if they can hold them, get their half of the inning. Shoeless Joe Jackson coming to the plate. Possible threat for extra bases here. All right. He is at a -1 disadvantage. He rolls a 1, but so does the pitcher. But -1 makes his a 0, and the pitcher wins it again with a ground out. Ground out to the third baseman. So 2 ground outs, the third this inning. All right. Happy Felsch coming into the plate. And he has not been happy today. Anything but happy. All right, Felsch is yellow rated, so he's at a -1 disadvantage to Dutch. He rolls a 5, downgrade that to a 4. Pitcher rolled a 6, so the pitcher wins with a 9 on his D20. And the 9 is, you guessed it, ground out. Ground out to the pitcher. Now, Felsch is green rated. All right, so we're going to see if he beats this one out. Okay? Pitcher's yellow rated. First baseman is green rated in defense. So it's a +1. Felsch is +1. So it's straight up. 1 to 3, he's safe. 4 to 6, he's out. 4 to 6, he is out. Happy Felsch goes down on the base pass. Okay. So he is out. 1, 3, 3. It's the third out of the inning. Guess what, kids? Bottom of the 9th. Okay. And in the 9th, we have Pat Duncan, Larry Kopp, and Greasy Neal coming up for the hometown Reds. And the crowd is on its feet, chanting for the team. Danforth still in the game pitching for Chicago. All right. Nobody out, nobody on. Here we go. Duncan is at a -1 to Danforth. He rolls a 3, downgrade that to a 2. Danforth rolls a 2. They tie, so we pull a wild card. Drag bunt, batter safe, all runners advance 1 base. All right. So Duncan gets it done. Becomes the first base runner of the inning. The Reds have something going. Let's see if they can keep it going here. All right. Duncan is a blue rated runner, so it must have been a heck of a bunt for him to make it. All right. But he did. So Duncan on first base. Nobody out. Larry Kopp is a switch hitter, so no platoon disadvantage for him. He is, however, a righty or a yellow rated hitter, so he's a -1 disadvantage here. Okay. He rolls a 2. -1 means the pitcher beats him with a 2. And a 5 on the pitcher card for Danforth is a ground out. Uh-oh. This turned into double play with the slow running Duncan. Let's see what the ground out is. The ground out to little number to the catcher. All right. Now, we're going to say the first out is Duncan. He's the casualty because he's a slow runner. So he's out. Now, Kopp is a green rated runner. All right. So our catcher, in this case, is yellow rated. First baseman's green rated. That's +1. Kopp is +1. So 1 to 3, he's safe. 4 to 6, he's out. Oh, it's a 4. Cincinnati goes down. So Kopp did not make it on the double play. And so the 1... Now I did that wrong. 1, 6... Actually, let's do that again, because you know what? That would be a 1, 6, 3, right? So the 1, 6 part of it already happened. That's your first out. But our shortstop is blue rated. First baseman's green rated. All right. So the defense, and we got a yellow rated catcher. The defense is actually even. Oh, it's even up, and that gives Kopp an advantage because he's green rated. So 1 to 2, 1 to 4, he's safe. 5 and 6, he's out. All right. He's still out. Doesn't matter how I do it. All right. I tried. I did it the right way. You know, that's what happens. Okay. So 1 out, 2 outs on the inning, and Neal comes up as our last hope to avoid extra innings here. Greasy Neal is at the plate. He is a lefty, so he's at -2 to Danforth. He rolls a 4, -2 is a 2. Danforth rolls a 7 and a 5 on his D20. That is a ground out for the pitcher. Ground out to first. Neal, being a fast batter, though, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. So we're like first base to third base. Our pitcher's yellow rated. I'm losing my mind here. Pitcher to first base. He's yellow rated. First baseman's green rated. That's +1. Neal is +1 as well, so he's even up. 1 to 3, he's safe. And he's not. So on to extra innings, kids. Wingo will be up next. 1, 2, 3 goes down. Wingo will come up next inning. All right. All right. We are rolling on to the top of the 10th. See that over there? Trust me, that's top of the 10th. Okay. All right. Gandal's coming up. And let's check Dutch again to see if we need to downgrade him. 1 to 3, downgrade. 4 to 6 to leave him in. 1 to 3, downgrade him, which means I'm going to go ahead and swap him out. And I'm going to put in, as I tried earlier, let's see, do I want to put Bressler in, or do I want to go for the Haas and put in Yep. Let's go ahead and put in Bressler. All right. Lefty. A bit of a ground ball specialist, which we've seen a lot of that today. But he'll be pitching to Gandil. And Gandil against him is -1. All right. So here we go. In the top of the 10th, kids. Knotted at 1. Gandil rolls a 3, -1's a 2. Pitcher rolls a 7 and a 2 on his card. That's a strikeout for Bressler, and that's a strikeout looking. Or swinging, sorry. Sorry, Gandil, didn't mean to disparage you there. All right. Risberg coming up. 1 out in the inning. Oh. Tell you what, we get 1 more run in this game. It's looking like they can hold on and win it. But nobody seems to be able to get it done. All right. All right, Risberg coming up. He is -1 to Bressler. 5 -1's a 4. That's a hit of some kind. It's a 5. It's a single on Risberg's card. So he is on at first, and that was a single to out over shortstop. Okay. Now, Risberg is a green runner, but he's going to hold up at first. All right. All right. We got 1 out. Let's see. He's on at first. All right. Now, I think what we're going to do here, there's no reason in this situation to have our pitcher do anything. So let's go ahead and get Sorry, hang on. No, it's Schalk coming up. I'm sorry. I'm losing my mind. All right, Schalk coming up, one out in the inning. All right, here we go. Schalk is a righty, so he's at -1 to Bressler. 4 minus 1's a 3. Bressler rolls at 1. Schalk, an 11 on his card is a double. All right, so that is trouble, okay? So we have Risberg making it at least to third. He's a fast runner, though. So Schalk is on at first. Now what we're going to see is, in this case, let's see where it's hit. We'll see if Risberg is going to make a run at the plate. And it was hit. So it's a liner over shortstop. No, I'm sorry, it's a double. It's a double, so we need to do our outfield dice. Double to right field. Okay. Now the right fielder for Cincinnati is Neal. Neal is a yellow or average rated fielder. All right. Our catcher is yellow, so they're average. Okay. Risberg's green rated, kids. So I think in this case, on a double, sorry, we got him here. He's at second. Schalk's on at first. He's at second. On a double, I think Risberg's got to go on this one. All right, he's got to go in. The defense is average, and he's +1, so he's going into it. 1 to 2, he's safe. Or sorry, 1 to 4, he's safe. 5 and 6, he's out. All right. Rolls a 2, so he is safe at home, and the run scores. All right. So Risberg scores on the double from Schalk. Schalk is holding up at second base. We no longer have a tie game, kids. The White Sox have taken the lead in the top of the 10th, 2-1. All right. All right. With 1 out in the inning. All right. So Schalk comes through with a clutch double to right field. All right. Here we go. And I have Seacott sitting here, still in. He's not in. It doesn't matter much. Pitchers, for the most part, are all blue rated as far as hitters go. Let's see. Danforth. Let me find his card just so I can be true to him. Again, why don't I look in Chicago, since I'm looking for a Chicago pitcher. Here we go. We're going to use the stand-in. Same thing. Okay. All right. So Danforth is -2 to Bressler. Okay. He rolls a 6. Downgrade that to a 4. Pitcher rolls a 6 and a 5 on his card. So Bressler gets the ground out. Now that is going to be a ground out to back to the pitcher. All right. So our runner at second base is Schalk. He's average. He's at third. So it's a ground out. First base, so that's a 1-3. All right. So 2 outs in the inning. Now we have Schalk at third. All right. Collins coming up. All right, Collins coming up. Collins is -1 to Bressler. Here we go. Rolls a 3, -1's a 2. A 5 from the pitcher. Just a 5 to 3. The pitcher rolls a 16 on his D20. That's a fly out. Fly out to center field. So that is an F8 from Collins. F8 from Collins, and that makes it makes it for the third out of the inning. All right, but not before Chicago manages to plate a run. We'll see if Cincinnati can come back here in the bottom half of the 10th inning. But Chicago takes what appears to be a commanding lead in this game. All right, so at the plate is Wingo, Bressler, still pitching. So Bressler would be up next if they don't pinch hit for him. All right. Wingo coming to the plate. Wingo versus Danforth. All right. And Danforth, I need to check, see if I need to downgrade him. Let's see. 1 to 3, I'll downgrade him. 1 to 3, he's downgraded, so he's out of there. Pulling Danforth. All right. Danforth out. That means I'm going to put in thumbing through here. Hang on a second. Do do do. Enjoy the music. Do 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 do. Hang on, still working on it. I'm going to bring in Sullivan, I think. Another lefty. All right. Sullivan comes in for the Shy Sox. Danforth pitched a good game, his good portion of the game. All right. So Wingo is a lefty, so he's at -2 to Sullivan. So after that switch, I'm pretty sure that the Reds are going to do a swap out their catcher here. Let's see if we can get a better bat in here that doesn't suffer a -2 penalty. All right, so let me do this. Yeah, but the only problem is their other catcher is Raritan, and Raritan's is a righty, but he's already at a -2 disadvantage. So I think I'm going to go ahead and keep Wingo in the game for Cincinnati. All right. So, given what we got on the bench, Wingo is rolling at a -2 disadvantage. He rolls a 5, -2 is a 3. Pitcher rolls a 4, which is good enough to win that matchup. Sorry, there's nobody out yet. So Wingo goes down. That's a 15 on the pitcher's card. For Sullivan, that is a fly out. All right. So gets the ball in the air. Fly out to left field. So F7 to Joe Jackson out there. Okay. Now we got Bressler coming up, and we'll be pinch hitting for him. For Bressler, we're going to put in Sherry McGee here. All right. So Bressler will be out if we go any further. All right. McGee comes in, utility guy, infield and outfield. Gives us some options if we get to go out in the field again. 1 out in the inning. All right. So here's McGee. McGee comes up. He's a righty, so he's only -1 to Sullivan. Rolls a 3, -1's a 2. 7 from the pitcher. 16 on the pitcher card is a fly out again. So Sullivan gets another fly out. This time to the shortstop. So 2 fly outs. And we're back to the top of the order with Morty Rath as Cincinnati's last hope here at home in this first game of the 1919 World Series. The White Sox took a lead, took their 1-run lead in the top of the 10th. And this is Cincinnati's last hope. All right. Rath is -1 to Sullivan, but he's a lefty too, so he's -2 actually. And in this case, there's no freaking reason to leave him in the game. I need to get a righty in here that won't suffer that disadvantage. All right, so we're going to put, as I dig through Cincinnati's bench here, we're going to put Jimmy Smith in here. Okay. All right. So Smith goes into the game. He's a green-rated hitter and a righty, so no disadvantage for him. All right. So we're rolling straight up here. He rolls a 6. This is awesome. The pitcher rolls an 8. The game is over, folks. That's a ground out by Smith. Game ends on a grounder back to the pitcher. Blue-rated batter doesn't have a chance there as far as speed goes. So it is a 1-3 for the third out. And the ball game is over. 1 run for the home team Cincinnati Reds and 2 runs for the White Sox. The White Sox take the first game in the series, so look for the next one in the series here later this week. And again, if you have any questions, it's barstoolgames.net. I'm Craig, and we will see you next time.